Good day. Thank you for joining us again for the Frankly Speaking Jamaica podcast. This is the 109th episode. Special welcome to those of you joining us live. Remember, you may send your comments at any time during this broadcast. And also remember, this podcast will be available to you on the Frankly Speaking Jamaica podcast YouTube channel after this live broadcast. Desmond Richards, Winnie Anderson Brown, and Mary White are with us today. Now we first go around the room to get a quick snapshot of what's going to be spoken of. Desmond?
No, I'm going to give you my post-mortem on the local government elections.
Beautiful.
And of course, crime.
Good. Mary?
Today, I'm going to be looking at 3 ways a woman makes herself findable by a man. Because without a strategy, then you don't have a plan to succeed. And finding a man is not as easy as you think. So you'd want to stay tuned, get your notebooks in here, my 3-piece strategy that I've used to win many of these or catch many of men, so to speak.
Beautiful. Winnie? Winnie?
Yes, today I am going to challenge the notion that young people are only interested in eating our food. And I'm going to use what happened in the local government elections in my area to make my point.
Oh, wonderful. Frankly speaking, we'll come back to all of you. Frankly speaking, the past week was mostly about politics. The local government elections, of course. Who won? Why was the EOJ so backward in coming forward with the results? But there was also Everett Warmington and Dennis Meadows. They are now both gone, but there are still questions or incomplete issues regarding them. Frankly speaking, let's start there. Aside from many saying Warmington should have gone a long time ago, his comments making clear a plan or intent for victimization were misunderstood by no one. So, frankly speaking, his explanation was useless. But here is the unanswered part of it. Not whether he was fired or he resigned. It's, frankly speaking, the failure of the Prime Minister to have made it abundantly clear in the statement announcing Warmington's departure, abundantly clear that the JLP administration, which he and Your Holiness leads, is absolutely and firmly against any sentiment or plan or act that would victimize opposition councillors or MPs or areas of supporters or the other side. The PM still has an opportunity to say so in frank and clear words. Indeed, he had a notable principled position well outlined by Mark Golding in his stripping Dennis Meadows of the caretaker responsibility for the PNP in North Trelawney. Frankly speaking, Meadows' position was to me clear in support of scamming and even advising how the proceeds may best be used. In the response, Golding made it clear he was not into that and threw down the gauntlet, suggesting to others in the party, don't try it. Frankly speaking, it was a new departure. What he said is worth repeating in part here, as you're seeing on the screen. Meadows' continuation as candidate is untenable in light of his egregious remarks on the platform, given that scamming is one of Jamaica's most serious national security challenges. Let this precedent, and this is the part, let this precedent be a warning to all who serve in the PNP under my leadership. We are demanding higher standards of accountability. Jamaica will no longer tolerate weak, unprincipled leaders who say one thing but do another. Jamaicans deserve better, and I will give it to them, Mark Golding said. We don't have time to discuss now what might have been happening in the U.S. Embassy here in considering Meadows' comments. But believe me. Now to Desmond Richards.
Well, first of all, I want to say that my take on those two incidents last week and the actions taken by the opposition leader and the Prime Minister is just to show you how low, the low level, the very low standard at which Jamaican politics is. Because if the politics and the politicians were obeying higher standards, they would never utter those words out of their mouths. But it is because the standard is so low that they feel that they could utter those words out of their mouths. Now, for Warmington, Mr. Warmington, he has been operating out of the norm for a very long time, long time. He should have been disciplined long ago. Now, Mr. Meadows, I don't know what was in his head, because scamming is an illegal act. But as I said before, it is the state of the politics in the country why those two men could have done that. Now, last week, the elections. Now, first of all, I am the EOJ. The EOJ blundered. Yesterday, the Electoral Advisory Commission corrected the EOJ errors by pointing out to them that the Portmore municipality is counted as a municipality. And therefore,
as a local authority, a municipal
and as a local authority, right?
And municipal corporations are also local authorities.
Yes, of course. And a result of that, the result is now official. It is 7-6. Now,
7 to the JLP, 7-6 to the JLP, and 6 to the PNP.
Yes, 7 for the JLP and 6 for the PNP. So when it comes down to who won the local government elections, the JLP won the local government elections. The PNP can claim victory on a number of fronts. For example, its performance last Monday was a significant improvement on 2016 and 2022. Now, look at it.
They got over 40,000 more votes than they got in 2016.
Yes, and that's an indication
they got more votes overall than did the JLP, than the popular votes across the country. Yes. They got more votes overall.
They also increased the number of seats. They had 90.
Just to be clear, the number of divisions or seats that they won individually across the municipality.
They had 98 on Monday. Now they have 115, right? And they increased. Well, I said that already. The majority votes, and they did well. Now, what must be done going forward? There needs to be some attention must be paid to the EOJ, because what we are accustomed to in Jamaica, I can remember, and all Jamaicans can remember this. During our general elections, the night after the general elections, we know who are the winner.
The very night,
And
the very night, very night.
yes,
Desmond, you're right.
yes, we know. Now, it took us 3 days for us to know clearly who won the local government elections. No, we can't do that because the EOJ has developed a reputation which has been good so far, and we don't want it to be turned back. And therefore,
I think their problem started from the night when they were having difficulties getting the results out for the individual divisions and the parishes. It started there because people
yes,
could find out that the results were not coming through.
yes. So they need to do something about that. Need to be addressed. Now that the results are over, and we now know who are the winners. What we are looking for now is how the councillors are going to address the problems. I heard the Prime Minister saying that on his campaign trail, he found that water and roads were two of the prominent issues. Now I wonder where
He
the
has
Prime
not been
Minister
listening
was.
to you, Desmond. He has
I
not
don't.
been listening to you because you're every week and everywhere you get a chance, you mention water.
Yes, because that is what I found. I found that there's a water problem in every parish in Jamaica, and it is significant. I am not even talking about roads, because I know as a rural Jamaican, I know that the roads in rural Jamaica are terrible. For example, I know a road in Muir House in St. Ann that was fixed over 40 years ago, and nothing has been done to it since then. Absolutely nothing, right? What is happening in Jamaica is that the services for rural Jamaicans and those who are in the inner city in the corporate area, those services are poor. Health, transportation, roads, water, those services, they are poor. In some cases in rural Jamaica, they don't exist, right? So I don't know. I know the Prime Minister, it is not possible for the Prime Minister to address all of these issues before the next election. I know that. It is not possible.
Yes.
But the new councillors, they have their jobs cut out.
All right.
But
I'm going to have to chop you up there, Desmond, and come.
before you chop me off,
I'm sorry, I mustn't use the word chop in this program.
before you chop me off, I just want to make one point.
We're not chopping you up.
Yeah.
You go ahead.
I just make one final point. That, listen, the councillors, we are expecting them to perform. No, but listen, they are going to fail. They are going to fail unless they are provided with resources. Right now, the parish councils don't have any resource. So for them to perform and deliver services, resources will have to be provided.
All right, thanks, Desmond. And that's full sum. I want to mention that we are going to come back to this issue of local governance next week, if all is well, but also to say that the municipal corporations also have a duty to fix up their own issues. They have some issues where they can earn, and those are issues that they must take on and stop playing politics with them. But we're going to come back to those. Want to go now to Winnie, who has another take on it. Winnie, your time. Winnie, are you hearing us?
I am hearing you now. Can you hear me?
Yes, please go ahead.
Okay. I am saying that all politics is local. And those of us on the ground, we are not concerned about the national count. From 7 p.m. Monday night, there was jubilation in the area. I'm talking about the Moko division. Briefly, I will say that the toll gate division was won by 1 vote in the last elections. The PNP was energized, so the PNP reclaimed the toll gate division. But the Moko division was won for the very first time by the PNP. So that is, I must say that Radcliffe is a very hard worker. and he deserves to win.
What's his
But
name?
Radcliffe McDonald is a very hard worker in the Tollgate division, but he could not win because the PNP's base was energized and he had only won by 1 vote. Now for the Moko division, I don't even want to spend much time on that. I want to show you, I want the people to speak for themselves why Romaine Morris won and why a strong message was sent to the Minister of Information, because the vote was for Romaine against the Minister of Information. And the work speaks for itself. So I
And the
would love
Minister of
that.
Information being the MP for the
Being
constituency.
the MP. And it brings me to the point that all the MPs do what Warmington said. He's only brave enough to say it and the way he said it, but they all do that. So I would be happy if the Prime Minister could tell us what system will be used to see to it that no one is victimized. That is what happened to Radcliffe as well. He did a lot of work by himself because the PNP would not support him because he's JLP. He would win. So something needs to be put in place to make sure that the hard-working councillor is supported in serving the people. So I would love clip for the people now to share why they voted for Romaine Morris. It is his work. It is not because of the party. It is his work.
So, Mr. Joshua, you
Mr. Morris. Good day, everyone. I just want to say big up Romaine Morris. I appreciate this moment and this opportunity. I ever look out for the young youth them, and thanks for everything.
His work makes the difference. People were fair and just, and there was jubilation because the PNP won because of the work of Romaine Morris. And that's a message for Robert Nestor Morgan, who said a lot and tried to destroy him. So the people spoke and justice has prevailed. So regardless of what is happening nationally, it's a different thing on the ground.
Wonderful. Thank you. Okay. So now, by the way, he won. And we are remembering that he shifted from the JLP.
Yes,
to the
after he was undermined and someone else. We have nothing against John. He is the one that provided us with internet when it was not available. So the vote was not against John. It was against the person who undermined Romaine. So John is fine. Clement Alves, he's fine. So it was not really against him. It's against what was done to Romaine.
Right, taking us into the heart there, taking us there into the heart of, and that was what, the Moko division, yes?
Yes, for the very first time in the history of the division, cut the way it is, the PNP won. And the PNP are happy. They said they would not win if Romaine was not treated the way he was treated after he worked so hard, because he and the MP, they do not get along well. So yes, we are worried now. We are concerned that the MP, if nothing is put in place, the MP can victimize him.
I see. Very interesting, Winnie. Thank you. And you are bringing us a situation with a local situation, and you started by saying all politics is local. A local situation which came to national attention, and Robert Morgan making quite some comments, and that MP and that council also making quite some comments in his walkover to the PNP. Desmond, you look like you want to say something. I'll give you half a second.
No, I can't tell you that I was shocked, because I know that Moko division very well, you know. I know it very well. I work there, and I know that Moko is, but as a matter of fact, I don't know many people know, but Buster Manti lived in Moko.
He ran here, and he made his name. He made his name in Moko because of his deed. That is why some people became JLP, because of Bustamante. I grew up learning that story of how he helped this pregnant woman who had a dead baby in her. That is why they became JLP.
One day we're going to hear that story, Winnie. Let's go now to Mary. Mary, your time to take us out of these harsh political days. If you want to comment on the politics, you can. You may do so.
Some comments from our viewers, so Max. So let me start with those. Today we have Rubian Forbes, who is with us. Hi, Rubian. We also hoping that so far she said, let's hope they follow through. That those are the politicians, to do the will of the people. We have Owen who says, Brother Desmond is on point. We and that's a big problem in a land of wood and water. There's no water. We have Keith Palmer who says, good conversation. And for sure, there are some valid points being addressed. Owen is on the ball. He's going to do what Warmington promised. Well, we'll see. All right, so thank you guys for joining us and sharing your views. This is what we want. We want engaged audience. So keep sharing those views and we'll come back and see what you say later. On to the lighter note, congratulations to the JLP, and congratulations to the PNP take two parties to run a country of democracy. So we're glad to see that there's some balance in the out there on the political landscape. Today, though, I am going to be talking about, as I introduced, the 3 ways a woman makes herself findable. And of course, as ladies, we know that we're not in the business of finding men, because God's cardinal rule of relationships says a man who finds a wife finds a good thing. But as women, that doesn't make us free not to do some work. While we, like the bridegroom, who in that period while the bride goes off and prepares everything for her, she's at home preparing herself that when he comes back, she's in a state of readiness. And so here are 3 strategies I use to make myself very findable and attractive to men. 1 is positioning.
Sorry, Mary, you say you recommending these because you use them as well? Is that
yes, sir, ma'am.
Okay, all right.
If there was a prize for the woman who goes on the most dates, I would have get it. I just meet men. I'm always meeting men. I'm always going on dates, getting to know them. Because, you meet them, not necessarily mean you're going to keep them. You sort of check them out and you decide if you're going to keep or toss. So the position is important. The positioning is important. You have to position yourself by going out, whether that's to school, work, church, events, funerals, as Winnie was saying in the thing, checking the arbitrary to find out who are the latest single men, you know what I mean? That's another thing you need to do, is to ask for referrals. Put it out there to people to let them know that you are in the market as a single person, and that if they have any friends who are also looking for somebody like in your business, you ask for referrals. You have to, third thing on the positioning is the right network. Build the right network or circle, because if you are looking for a certain type of man, you're just not going to go certain places to find that type of man, because a place has to determine the type of man that you're going to find. So be intentional about where you position yourself. The second P is presentation. You want to look physically good. You want to give off a lot of feminine energy and aura. You want to groom yourself, take care of your skin so you look glowing. On the presentation, you also want to make sure that they see your price tag. When a man approaches you, he must know your value, your worth. So he knows to get him argument right before he approaches you. So as a high value woman, you want to be looking, make sure that the man knows what your value is before him approach.
Price tag does not mean how much money you like.
No, because you could find a plumber, for example, but that plumber sees your value and knows your worth as a woman. Some men want to get to know women, but they don't want to treat them with the value and the virtue that a woman brings to the table. They don't want to bring their value to the table as well. So that's like unequally yoked. You don't want that. You want a man who knows the value of a woman. So you don't have to go fight that battle. Too many days we're fighting with men to really treat us the way we deserve. No, you don't want to put your price tag out there.
High maintenance or low maintenance?
Yes, yes. The
Is
next
that what
thing
you're talking
on the
about?
presentation
That's what
is
I was
model.
asking. In other words, is a high maintenance man or a low maintenance?
High maintenance woman or a
Woman.
low
Yes.
maintenance woman?
Yes, because if you're too easy and your price is too low, everybody will pick you up off the shelf. And then we'll just carry on, pick you up by the dozen and carry on and throw you into file 13. You don't get the pampering and the respect you should get.
Wow.
You're too easy and cheap. So next thing you want to do, my next part on the presentation is modeling. You have to model. Be a model of the person you want, you see yourself as, so that people see you. So you want to stride with confidence. You want to hold your head up high. And when you hold your head up, as a matter of fact, you see more men. You want to just strut your stuff so that they see you. You don't just enter a room and nobody notices. So you want to model and so work, get a little heels and work on your walk if you need. Those things help. Men are attracted to those things. The last P is personality. You want to have a receptive aura. You want to have a welcoming spirit. You want to have a pleasant resting face. As women, I find that we are not aware of the way we look and appear and the way we come across to people. We're in public and we face look unapproachable. No, you want to be very intentional and deliberate when you're in public, because remember, at all points you're marketing yourself. So you want to ensure that those things are always sending the right signals and the right message to men. Now that you have applied my 3 strategies of positioning, presentation, and personality, and you have attracted the men, the work is just beginning. When you meet men, they're not all for keeping. So you want to spend the time and use the wisdom to vet these men properly and decide which one of them are
30 seconds to wrap up, Mary. 30 seconds to wrap up.
Yes. Which one of these men that you have met is a high value man? Because that's the key point. The others, tough.
Oh, high value man. Very briefly, what's a high value man?
A high value man is a man who is not about money. It's about wisdom and duty. It's a man who you don't have to teach how to treat you like a woman. He knows.
Right.
He's out
Desmond, I see you ready to go. Go, Desmond, go.
No, boy, I am bamboozled with Mary's suggestions, because you know what, all of these things is that what men are looking for, right? What men are looking for. I am saying that there are some inner things. Yes, you want your woman to look good, right? I agree with that, right? So the presentation is okay. But there are some other things which are important for a relationship between a man and a woman, right? It's not just look, right? There are some.
It's not just marketing.
No, not just that at all.
But
right?
if you have never met her, brother Desmond, then you won't find out these other things about her. So first you have to first meet her. It's like somebody can't know about you until they have met you. So you have to first meet the woman, and in order to meet her, you have to be first attracted to open
Winnie,
the
give us your wisdom on this matter.
Said 2 minutes ago. What I have to say is this: I agree with Desmond, but if you don't meet the woman, you won't know whether she's
good. Absolutely, Winnie. So it starts with the meeting, and the meeting has to be deliberate.
Okay, so we're wrapping up. Just before I go, and I see we have lots of comments. We're not going to get to them, but we thank you for sending in these comments. I'm just saying, what a disgrace, that situation with Vale Royal. The 3 centuries old property that was the official resident, at least, of Private Finance Minister. Frankly speaking, I attended several important media events there, including events involving foreign dignitaries, officials, and so on, and some notable receptions. What a disgrace for it to have been allowed to fall into ruin, to look so much like downtown Kingston to look so much like some of the major inner parts of some of Jamaica's major townships, fallen as local government has, fallen to ramshackle. What a disgrace. And I hope that we come back to it. The Prime Minister said they're going to look about it. I hope they do. Thank you all for joining us again for the Frankly Speaking Jamaica podcast. Thanks to Desmond, Winnie, and Mary. Remember, this 30-minute podcast will be on the Frankly Speaking Jamaica podcast YouTube channel later today. Thanks for sharing. Please subscribe on behalf of Winnie, Desmond, Mary, and technical man Joshua and Franklin McKnight. Until then.
Thank you.
Yes.